Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Flynn, and welcome to the Doug Flynn Show. We are having so much fun doing this and appreciate all of you folks that are out there listening and sending me little texts and emails saying that you're enjoying our show. All right, so there's a couple of you that don't agree with everything that I'm talking about. That's okay. And that's why we wanted to do this, because we wanted to bring you different points of view. You know, it's election time coming up here pretty soon. And man, are the television programs and radio shows coming out with all kinds of suggestions and ideas about who to vote for and how you're supposed to vote. We've had debates, well, I guess you call them debates, between the VPs and the presidential candidates. And maybe we'll even see another one. And I don't know if you've made up your mind about who you're going to vote for out there. I have, and I think if you know me, it's pretty clear about who I'm going to vote for. So today's show, what we want to talk about is, where are you getting your information and who are you getting your information from? And, you know, just talking with some of the staff around here with the Doug Flynn Show, we think that this not only applies to politics, but it also applies to religion. And so we're going to share about some of those, share some of the things we think about. Let's go see what the Bible says. And let me just say this. I heard this at church this past week. When we're talking about where we're getting our information, one of our people at church says, you know, we don't need a lot more teachers or prognosticators. We need more examples, because there's a lot of people that are talking out of one side of their mouth and you're getting the other side about what they've really been doing. I got a list of stuff here that I'm going to share with you a little bit later. And you make up your own mind. That's what we want you to do. Don't sit here and say, my great-grandfather was a this, and so that's the way I'm going to vote. Do your own homework. Find out where you're getting your information from. And if you hear something that you don't exactly agree with, go look it up. Go find out where it is. You know what one of the problems is? I got people right now that they don't want to come on this show and they don't want to talk about this because they don't agree with it. Let's go. You know, just because I didn't agree with the way an umpire called a pitch, sometimes I wasn't going to quit the game. And there's a good chance that he was probably right. And so today, we want just to encourage you with the elections coming up. And I think this is one of the biggest elections that we've ever had in my lifetime. We want you to do your own homework and then come up with, so that you've got an answer when people come and say, hey, why did you vote for so-and-so? Give them the reasons. If you ask me right now who I'm going to vote for, I'll tell you, and I'll tell you exactly why. But don't give me this, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Why not? Or don't give me this either. Well, I really don't get involved with it, so I'm probably not going to vote. If you're not going to vote, then you're not going to gripe to me, because we ought to be so thankful that we live in this country, that we have the opportunity to go out and we can vote for the people that we want to put into office. And if you don't vote, you're missing one of the biggest blessings that you have, and you don't have a right to gripe if you're not going to vote. Just, I don't know if you agree with me on that or not, but that's kind of the way it is. And over the next few months, I know in some of the events that I'm going to be going to, there's going to be a lot of people that don't agree with me. And I am willing to sit down and talk to them about that. So if you're not, and you're just going to let things go, and the country starts going in a direction that you don't like, and you had nothing to do with how it got there by voting, sorry, it's on you. So use this chance to get out there and do that. Well, I've watched a couple of these debates that have gone on, and to me, I don't see some of the substance that I'm looking for from people, and here's why. All right, I got a list here of stuff that in our country, if you are against this, then I want you to just think about it a little bit. School choice, for instance. If you're for school choice, well, there's never been there's never been as much as separation in two candidates, I think, that there was going to be in this coming election. You got Donald Trump and you got Kamala Harris. All right, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm Trump. And I've got my buddies that some of them are saying to me, how can you vote for him? You know, you're supposed to be a moral person. And this Donald Trump is not a moral man. Well, let's start out with this. There has never been anybody run for politics or political position that was perfect. If Jesus comes back, that would be the only one. There has not been anybody that doesn't have a flaw here and there. So what I do as a voter is I go to the candidates. I look and see what they represent, and I vote for the one that, to me, is going to do what I think is biblical, or at least close to it. Now, we're not going to find that perfect one out there. And so I got a list here of things, what I believe in, and I'm going to just run them by you. Do your own evaluation on this. Excuse me. So are you for men playing in women's sports? Well, the candidates are very simple. One of them is, and one of them isn't. What about tax-funded abortion? That is probably the biggest issue that's going on right now. One of them's for it, one of them isn't. How about packing the Supreme Court? So if you don't like the 9 people that are on there now, you want to put more of your people on there. One is for, one isn't. Religious freedom. I'm all for that. Why should we not be able to pray before a football game or a basketball game? Who is that harming? Why is praying good stuff over people all of a sudden become harmful? I don't get it. How about raising income tax? How can anybody be for raising income tax? And yet the argument is going to be, well, we're just going to raise it on the rich. No, who pays most of our taxes anyway? People that got the money, paying 70 to 80% of our taxes. Why? I just don't get that. How about proof of citizenship to vote? Is that too hard to ask for? Is that too hard to ask for, that all you have to do is take and prove that you are a U.S. citizen? Well, we've got so many illegals coming to our country now, and they're trying to find a way to get them to vote. To me, this is an obvious way of vote buying. When you're giving illegals telephones, health insurance, food, you're giving them more stuff than you're giving to a veteran who may have lost a limb that's out there protecting this country. I don't understand that. I don't understand it. How about open borders? We just talked about that a little bit. How about defunding the police? Why would you want to defund the police? There's never been crime in our country like there is right now in any state. I mean, in our little state of Kentucky, crime is up this year in Lexington and in Louisville, and then all across the country, because we've decided we wanted to defund the police. That makes absolutely no sense to me. We want to defund the military. We had the strongest military. We were not idolized, but we were feared by everyone. I want to be the biggest dog on the block, because if not, I know that through our Constitution and the way that we've always run our government in the past, we've had enough sense not to exert that force unless it was absolutely necessary. You put that same kind of power in the hands of people that are nuts, it's scary to see what's going on. And so, yeah, I want to make sure our military is as strong as it's ever been. Fund veterans. Yeah, take care of the people that took care of us. And big government, I'm tired of big government. You know, what has big government done that has really been so successful? Most of the time when they get their hands on stuff, it's a mess. See, I'm here today because I've studied and looked at these things and tried to find out the answers to them, because this country, in my opinion, is in a mess. And when you can't walk down the streets and feel safe, you can't get on a bus and feel safe anymore, and it doesn't matter what town you're in. Let's get back to the days where we had a little authority was taken over that. Now, I don't want a martial law to take place. I don't want the military to come in here and start taking care of everything. But I want people to at least know the difference between right and wrong, and there's some of them that just don't do that. When we boil right down to it, I liked what is said in the Bible in 2 Chronicles 7:14 through 16, where God says, and God has taken this, and I absolutely believe this, the reason why our country has been so successful is because God has blessed our country, because we used to honor him. We honored him in our schools, our homes, and now we've started getting away from that, where we're afraid to say anything. We don't even have the national anthem anymore in schools sometimes. How can we not do that? So if we're not doing that, then you're not having a little prayer. We always started the day with the national anthem. We always had the prayer, and God protected our country. But in the Chronicles, it says, if my people, and I'm talking to you people that are church-going people too, especially, are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and heal their land. I believe that 100%. Things are getting a little rough out there, but God has promised that he would have your back. He did it with Solomon. He did it with David, and he will do it with us if we are his people and we will turn to him. Let's have a revival. Let's get back to where the days were where, people were excited to see each other. We weren't flipping each other off riding down the street. I wrote down a bunch of irritants that were bothering me the other day, like when you let somebody cut in front of you and they don't thank you, people that are running red lights, people that are just flying by. And, what happened to the point where we used to be a little more respectful of people and their time? Now we just got a bunch of angry people riding around trying to get one place to the other, and they don't care who they get in front of or who they abuse. I don't like that. And I still think if we will do that, if we will humble ourselves and get back to the way that it used to be, then I think God will continue to bless this great country of ours. All right, that's pretty good rambling, I think, for one day. But go and do your homework. Find out where your information's come from. The time will decide when you go into the polls to vote. You're going to have an opportunity to make a decision on who do you want to vote for. Just do your homework. That's all. Just do your homework. And I hope God continues to bless this great country. Thanks for listening. And if you like the show, let us know. If you don't like it, write in and let us know that too. And if you really don't like it, come on here and be a guest. We'll have some fun talking about it. All right, you've been listening to The Doug Flynn Show. I'm Doug Flynn, and thanks for watching.